Oh man, looks like it's gonna rain. Oh my god, wake up, sheeple. That's just the government planting clouds in the sky to try and hide the UFOs from us that are about to attack our planet. And this video is an act of self-soothing because I understand. Truly, I do. I get it. In the last year or two, I have become a little bit more conspiratorial myself. I mean, just look around. Pretty much every single weirdly edited Illuminati video that we saw 5-10 years ago might actually have been true. And half these channels are super dead now. I don't know what happened to any of these people. You know them videos that people were making in iMovie? They had one color background, usually green or black or something, and Comic Sans text over it being Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Kanye West are all lizard people. And I cannot say definitively anymore that they were wrong. And I don't know if they're still alive, but wherever you are, thank you. They've also been whistleblowing for a long time now that everybody in Hollywood, about everyone in Hollywood also being PDF files. So, and y'all laughed them right off the stage. But I do think that generally speaking, a lot of us in the last couple of years have developed a lot less trust for our government because it is being run by the talking orange. But because of that and everything that's been getting exposed in Hollywood for the last decade, and the fact that everybody has been doing what people have said that they've been doing this whole time, it's honestly just become way easier to believe every conspiracy theory you hear.
Can someone explain to me how they already knew about this hurricane, the fact that it was a category 5, and the fact that it caused widespread damage? Hello? It's almost like it was planned.
I would like to introduce y'all to the field of meteorology. Now you might be asking, what is meteorology? You might also not be asking that because you're over 10 years old. Shout out to my audience still in the single digits. Stay in school, kids. The field of meteorology is offered at several accredited schools. But just in case you are genuinely unaware, it's just the science of weather. It's just studying the weather conditions day to day and also over a long periodically time. And see, the thing about studying something, especially at a scientific level, is that it gives you a pretty good ability at understanding patterns. That's why doctors with a reasonable certainty can tell you what ailment you might be dealing with or what's wrong with you based on your symptoms. So they can pick up the pattern of your symptoms, identify the disease, and prescribe the right medicine, as long as you're a man. Oh my god, doc, I've been having this awful cough and headache for the last 2 days. When was the last day of your first period? It's probably just stress.
Oh my god, doc, I've been having this awful cough and headache for the last 2 days.
Don't you worry about it, Steve. We're gonna order some tests and some x-rays. We are going to get to the bottom of this. Either way, it's the science of meteorology. That's how you predict weather patterns. When you've studied weather patterns for a long time, patterns in the water, in the air, in the planet at large, you can probably use those certain data points to then predict when a hurricane might be a-coming. Also, as someone who's experienced a couple of hurricanes, I feel like at this point, even I could probably look at a map and be like, yeah, that's a hurricane. But I swear the pictures of hurricanes that they show you on the news look different when the category is higher than when it's lower. Are worst hurricanes literally not physically larger? Am I making that up? I am not a meteorologist, all right? I don't have my degree of weather. I don't know what you're not seeing here. That bitch looks pretty destructive to me. So basically, this guy is saying that he's not afraid of the hurricane because he doesn't actually believe that it's coming. Hey, this is me from the future. Unlike your girlfriend, that shit fucking came. That was mean. It was a joke, kind of. Because the logic is that since Miami is full of wealthy elites, that they'd never send a hurricane to destroy their own assets. So how do you feel about that now? Now, I completely understand that logic. That very sound logic. What if the rich white people who live in Miami don't cook hurricanes in their kitchen and it's a result of water and air pressure doing wild things together? Also, what are you guys even talking about? Hurricane season comes around every single year. We have it every year around the same couple months. Why are we still not believing that this is just something the earth does? However, this belief system that the government is cooking our weather isn't new. And this one is a little more complicated because I feel like it's kind of twofold. Because on the one hand, who cares? Why does it matter to you and what you're gonna do right now? Whether or not this hurricane came straight from the White House or from God himself. Point is, it's a coming. Why would the source of the hurricane change your next move. I don't give a where it's coming from, girl. It's not gonna drown me. I don't care who cooked it.
Cause I'm not gonna eat it.
Like, where's your self-preservation? Girl, the elites are up at their summer homes in the Hamptons. They ran. So what are we talking about here? They have their insurance claims paperwork pre-filled. They just sign whenever things happen. The second reason why this is like a complex issue is because, of course, nobody has any trust for the government and the wealthiest people among us. They are a bit suspicious. I just wish we applied it to more logical shit, to housing, poverty, homelessness, real issues, you know? It just feels like there's a huge chunk of people who only seem to apply this distrust to the weather, to UFOs, to NASA lying to us about flat earth. They only seem to think our government is lying to us about shit that doesn't even matter. And as your newest elected official, I am going to put forth every effort into not addressing the housing crisis, but to definitely lying to you about the shape of our planet. There are just so many other issues to not trust them about. Anyways, a little short, quick little history lesson for you is that a big part of weather conspiracy stuff is chemtrails. And basically the chemtrails are like lines of condensation that you see left in the sky sometimes. And people have believed for a long time that it's something nefarious being done by our government. Started when the Air Force published a report about weather modifications in '96 called Benign Weather Modifications by Barry B. Barry B. Cobble. Now, did I read all of this? No, but that's what it's called if you want to go read it. And if you do, report back and leave us a summary in the comments. Okay, so I felt a little bit stupid about including this in the video and not looking into it at all. So I did, and the TLDR is about using the weather to increase rainfall or snowfall for the purpose of increasing water supply. Also, to potentially use it in war efforts. And that's kind of crazy. But that's kind of what it was about. So all that to be said, government controlling the weather is not an unprecedented belief. But there is something we always have to remember about weather, that it has a consistent pattern. As I mentioned before, hurricane season and rainy seasons. There is no reason to believe that a hurricane occurring during hurricane season in a part of the world where hurricanes frequent is an attack from our government. It makes a lot more sense to believe that it's just the weather doing a thing that the weather always does. There is also climate change, that fun beast. That's probably going to be responsible for changing a lot of our weather patterns in the next couple decades. So before you believe that the government is for some reason waging war against its own citizens via the weather, just think about those things for a second. That's it. Is it your government or is it climate change? Thanks to big oil. There always comes to a point too with conspiracy theories where your theory starts to become harder to believe than the normal story. And I feel like flat earthers fall into that category for me real quickly. Cause the fact that the government would be going out of their way to lie to us about the shape of the planet blows my mind. It's just such an insane waste of money, time, and resources for nothing. Who cares what shape the planet is? What difference does that make for my day-to-day? What does the earth being flat change for you? You still got work in the morning. Your essays still due. If I can find the clip, I'll include it. But I remember I saw one comedian one time saying that I think it's actually a lot weirder if you don't believe in any conspiracy theories. Because now that seems a little arrogant. I would say that there's a nugget of truth to a lot of them. But then they kind of go through this like game of telephone where they move from one person to another to another to another. And the final story just ends up so
Cooked.
that it just makes more sense to believe the original story, whether it's true or not. That's frankly become dangerous because it's discouraging people from leaving areas that are about to be destroyed by hurricanes. It has people who can evacuate choosing not to. Some conspiracies too have people like not taking medical science seriously, trying to cure very serious diseases with like apple juice and pee. All that to be said, the conspiracy theory that I hold on to pretty tightly is the dead internet theory. I think I might believe that one quite a lot. The TLDR of it is that the internet is basically run by bots, I myself being one, with the sole purpose of manipulating our behaviors. Where it kind of loses me is the idea that it's primarily done by governments. I'm not saying it's not, but I think the major players are companies that are trying to do it more so for a profit. I think it boils down a lot more to just making money. money. But the idea that a lot of social media companies are doing it to just like farm engagement and make money, that actually seems more logical to believe than them not doing anything like that. One of my favorite ones I've seen on TikTok too is the dark clock theory.
Ever truly looked at a clock and felt a chill? The dark clock theory. Unsettling truths revealed. Why do clock numbers pair to 12 and 13? How can subtracting from 12 always yield 6? Is it just a coincidence or something deeper? There's an eerie symmetry in these numbers, hinting at a cosmic design we can't fully grasp. Pairs across the clock adding to 12 and 13, and diagonal subtractions always summing to 6, too perfect to ignore. What if these patterns suggest hidden truths about time and fate? Could this seemingly mundane clock reveal a larger, unsettling reality?
It's giving mathematics. It's giving open the schools. It's giving y'all have never heard of multiples of a number before. And I don't want to disrespect the people who believe strongly in this theory, but I would encourage you to look up the concept of numbers being divisible by each other. The long story short is that conspiracy theories are interesting and sometimes fun and sometimes really dangerous. People aren't inherently crazy for having distrust for government and rich people, but can people be a little crazy about how they let conspiracy theories impact their actual behaviors in the real material world? Yeah. So what was the point of this video and what is the wrap up? When in doubt, don't believe TikTok. Believe your weatherman. And that, my friends, is the video. Me and the most logical audience that you have ever seen are grateful that you watched. Now, I know this is kind of old news, but that's who I am, baby. This is my channel. But I still did want to talk about it because honestly, I find conspiracy theories and conspiracy theorists very interesting people. And I would also love to hear your takes about it down below. However, if you've made it all the way to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.